everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Nicole with Made from Scrap, and we're going to get started with making the faux boombox project. We're going to be making the box first, and then we will move on to the next project after that and do the little album that will slide down in the box. So I'm using the Hello Lovely paper collection from Photoplay that's available through countrycraftcreations.com. And I'm also using the pink peony paper that is now available as well from Country Craft Creations. So let's get started. You can take a look at the cut list I have posted. I have went ahead and put on my chipboard pieces some double-sided tape already, so I wanted to just go over this quickly with you. You'll notice from your cut guide that some of the cardstock pieces that I'm using to cover the chipboard that measures 12 inches long needs two pieces. So I'm using my scoreboard here to butt these two pieces right up to each other, and they measure, both of them measure 7 inches wide by 10 inches tall. So if you butt them up next to each other, then you should be able to lay this right down using your spacers and have an inch border all the way around. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to peel back this double-sided paper. Just like so. This makes it so easy. Just make sure that your two pages are butted up to each other, and then you're going to press a little bit against those spacers. And just like that, you have added your sheet down and have a perfect 1 inch spacing all the way around. So I'm going to do that with the second one, and then I'm going to do the two sides and the bottom of the box, and I'll be right back. And for the bottom of the boom box, you're going to go ahead and place your two pieces that each measure 5 by 7 down, so that you have those right next to each other, butted next to each other. And then that will allow you, with the 1 inch spacer, to also completely cover your chipboard piece. So go ahead and lay that down just like so. Okay, you should have 5 pieces in total for the box itself, and then don't forget your other small pieces for the handle. All right, so I have my chipboard covered and the pieces cut out, so I want to just hopefully not make you too dizzy, but I want to show you that you're going to need to lay these down in alternating fashion, where you have the side and then you have the front or the back, and then you have a side and then you have another front or the back. And then you're going to have your bottom piece, which I want you to cut another piece of your cardstock that you're using that measures the same dimension as your chipboard piece. So let's start with what's going to create all of the sides of the box first. I want to show you, sorry about moving the camera so much, but I want to show you. So for the sides, you want to make sure to cut out all of the corners here. So what I did is I wrapped this around, I burnished my cardstock on all 4 sides, and then I flipped it over, and I do this even with my albums, and I use my bone folder and I press against the cardstock up against my chipboard piece, and that helps me give a bit of a dimension so that it ends up wrapping, I think, a little bit closer to the chipboard piece, in my opinion. So that's going to help me. And then after I've done that, then I cut out the corners. So that's going to be for both sides. Now what I want you to do is the same thing like you do with your lay flat method of covering your albums. You're going to place glue along that edge of the chipboard, and then turn this around, and then we're going to glue the top, what will be the top, down first, and that's it, just the tops. So I'm going to wrap that around the edge, and I'm using my art glitter glue, And then I'm going to have that secured along the top. And then I'm going to do the same thing for this other side as well. So let me make sure that this is straight. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to place glue along the chipboard piece and then on the top flap. And I'm going to wrap this around just like so. And just like that, we have our two side pieces. So I'm going to place that here and here back in order. And then what I'm going to do is for the front and back pieces of chipboard, I am going to start with wrapping the two sides around like this, and then I will wrap the top down, okay? So that I don't see inside that cut edge from the top. So again, I'm gonna start with the sides. Let me move this off to over. I'm gonna start with the side flaps for my front and back covers. All right, so one thing I want to point out is that I'm going to go ahead and place my pattern paper on the inside of my box. But if you chose to wrap your side pieces to the inside of the box, you're going to want to leave one of your sides without your decorative paper in it so that you can make sure to cover up that hinge. But if you went ahead and wrapped your hinge to the outside of the box, then you can go ahead now and put your decorative paper on the inside of all four sides. So I went ahead and cut down my pieces for the inside. I am using the beautiful new available banana split paper from Country Craft Creations, and I cut this right down to size. So I'm doing this for the look of some color blocking. If you remember the color blocking from the 80s, that is the look that I'm going after. So I'll be right back after I go ahead and glue all of these down and burnish really well. Okay, now that I have the inside papers all done, I'm gonna go ahead and place glue on the inside of this final side flap. And I'm gonna pull my side around. Let me try to not make you dizzy and come out just a little bit further. There we go. Okay. And I'm gonna wrap this around. I'm gonna meet up the corner and hold it. And I'm gonna make sure that this corner at the top, very important, is also flush. So I'm just pressing this chipboard piece against the other chipboard piece and then sandwiching the flap down. And I'm just gonna press right here. I'm pushing up with this hand underneath inside the box. And I'm pressing down on the top. So just hard enough to give a little bit of pressure so that I can burnish, but you don't want to collapse your box, okay? And just like that, you have the inside of your box, and now we have the bottom piece that we want to pull the front and back down, and then you can fold the sides over. So what we're going to do is we're going to place glue on the corner here and on the corner there. And that way this can fold right down just like so. And this is where you may want, if you have some little clips, little paper clips to hold that in place, that might be a good idea. And the other thing I'm going to do is burnish along these edges, just to help that fold a little bit more. Okay, and now I'm going to glue on this side as well. That around and give it a little pinch. Okay. Turn that over, and that way I can reach in and just do a little bit more burnishing there. Now that we have that, your bottom piece is going to come into play. So what we want to do is make sure that you have, if you're going to cover the inside of your bottom piece, you cover it right now. If you're going to put decorative cardstock or paper, either way to put it, what we're going to end up doing is sliding this down inside of the box and pressing it down, and that way it'll slide right in. And when we end up with it inside, you're going to end up with a piece that's inside, but it looks like this. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that.